The Androscoggin River Valley, the people, the places, the history, all that makes up the vibrant story of the towns of the Androscoggin Valley from Lewiston, Auburn, through Mexico and Rumford, through Bethel, all the way to the New Hampshire border.
Hello and welcome to the May 2018 edition of Today River Valley. Today River Valley is the video news feature program for the towns of the Androscoggin Valley in western Maine. My name is Phil Blampied. I'm the host and producer of the program. Historical societies are a common part of life in the state of Maine. There are historical societies in towns and cities all over the state. These societies don't just talk about history, they also collect it. They assemble large collections of photos, documents, and other historic artifacts from their communities. But the societies are dependent in large part on volunteers, and volunteers don't always hang around. Sometimes they lose interest or drift away for other reasons. Some societies have found that they have trouble surviving because of a loss of volunteers. So the question then is, what happens to these collections of artifacts if the society shuts down? We're going to be looking at local historical societies in western Maine that are grappling with this problem after a few messages from local businesses.
Today River Valley is sponsored by the Sudbury Inn, lodging, fine dining, and a lively pub right on Main Street in Bethel, Maine.
The Sudbury Inn. Now's the time for a getaway to a charming village like Bethel, Maine, and a stay in the historic Sudbury Inn, right in the heart of the village of Bethel, where the table is set and waiting for you, and the bed is quilted and pillowed and beckoning you for a good night's sleep in the country air. Whether you come for quiet walks through the early spring landscape of the western Maine mountains, or for browsing the quaint knickknacks in local shops, the Sudbury Inn will welcome you back at the end of the day with fine dining in its main dining room or pub fare and live music in its popular Sud's Pub downstairs. It may be located in a small village, but the Sudbury Inn strives to offer world-class cuisine. The menu changes with the seasons, yet always offers popular classics. And yes, the inn is affordable. Guests are surprised to find how reasonable room rates are, even though a generous kitchen-cooked full breakfast is included, and off-season rates began at the end of April. Besides individual rooms, the inn also offers rustic apartment-sized pet-friendly suites for families or large groups. Make this month a memorable one with a stay at the Sudbury Inn, which, as the magazine Bon Appetit put it, is the perfect way to end a day in Bethel.
Meanwhile, at the Verizon Wireless Zone in Mexico, Maine.
Bill, did you know that you can find just about anything that you need in a smartphone nowadays?
You know, I really have everything I need here in this bag.
We'll see about that. Oh. You're not going to need this if you have a new smartphone on America's Best network. And a calculator? You're most definitely not going to need this. A calendar? Your new smartphone will have a calendar already built into the phone that not only helps you with appointments, but also sets reminders.
Now I suppose you're going to tell me that this smartphone will show me where to get a hamburger? Huh?
As a matter of fact, yes it will.
Remember, at the Verizon Wireless Store in Mexico, we're always striving to be your cell phone provider of choice.
Everyone knows Stony Brook Recreation on Route 2 in Hanover is a great choice for family camping in western Maine. Many people also know the variety store that opened there a couple of years ago, offering everything from milk and eggs to wine and beer to homemade donuts on Saturdays. But did you know Stony Brook now has a full country diner-style dining room serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Come by, grab a table by the old wood stove, and enjoy good home-style cooking with friendly service.
Hi, this is Bruce at Stony Brook Variety. We're open 7 days a week, so please stop by and enjoy our new expanded dining room.
Coulthard's believes there's no better way to get the hard winter behind you than to get your pool open early or install one if you don't have one already. Coulthard's carries the Garden Leisure brand of above-ground pools and Pacific in-ground pools, and is making appointments now to open your existing pool or install a new one. And from April 30th to May 19th, look for our annual pool chemical sale. 20% off on the chemicals you need to keep your pool clean and fresh, from chlorine to algicides to stabilizers and earth salt and sand for your filter, with brand names like Easy Chlor, Leisure Time Chemicals, and Sustain. The sale will include pool toys and games as well. Of course, the perfect complement to that pool is your own sauna. Coulthard's carries TheraSaunas, an American-made brand with soothing infrared heat. There's nothing like a sauna for improving skin tone, reducing cellulite, and just plain relaxing. Coulthard's, 33 years in business on the River Road in Mexico, Maine. Call 364-POOL and visit the showroom soon.
Hi, this is Roger Whitehouse of Riverside Realty in Mexico, Maine, and you're watching Today River Valley, the video news feature program of the Androscoggin Valley in western Maine.
There's just a wide collection of various ephemera from all ages. It's a little bit of everything.
The globe came from the Dixfield Commons School.
This is an old football from a Mexico Rumford game back in 1942.
We also have a camera collection.
This is to show you how the logs came out of the woods.
This is that Cheller plane I was telling you about. 1753 to 1784 it was made. It doesn't look like much, but it's old. We have 2 organs, one downstairs and one upstairs, so we don't need any more organs. It's quite elaborate.
It's just a really cool item of history that shows all the people when they checked in to the hotel. And it has the name, where they're from, the date. See, this was December 13th, it looks like, 1891.
Maine has well over 200 local historical societies, with over 24 in Oxford County alone. These are not just groups that meet and talk about history. In Maine, they customarily assemble large collections of historical artifacts and often acquire buildings to house their collections. There are hundreds of thousands of historical artifacts in local collections all over the state, worth possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars. But these collections are in the hands of organizations who depend on volunteers, and as volunteers age or lose interest, the question then becomes, who will take care of these historical items if the society loses so many members it has to dissolve? Does the past have a future, or will it all wind up in the local landfill? In western Maine, many local historical societies have grappled with this dilemma. Some have solved the problem, some are still struggling.
There we go.
There's a huge number of local historical societies across Maine, so many of them each of them has their own temperament, their own issues, their own strengths, their own challenges. My name's Steve Bromage. I'm the Executive Director of Maine Historical Society. I really look at those collections as probably some of the most undervalued or underutilized local resources within a community, so I think there are a lot of strategies that communities and local historical societies can take to making sure that those historical societies are strong.
These collections, some of them are from early 1800s, very fragile. There are many risks that for these old materials that you can end up losing objects and part of the collection. So very important to get them housed properly. I'm Julie Martin. I'm a board member at the Canton, Maine Historical Society, and I also work at the Northeast Document Conservation Center. It's a preservation and conservation center in Massachusetts.
I think it has a lot to do with the age group of people that are taking care of these societies. It tends to be, myself included. I never was part of, I've always donated to the society since I've been in Bethel, but I never was part of the society. One, because I worked, and now that I'm retired, I can give more time to the society. And I think that's what happens is that your smaller societies are driven by volunteers. I mean, well, even this one has a drive by volunteers, even though we do have a curator and we have a librarian that are full-time and a secretary that are full-time employees. The others aren't as lucky as us, but it's volunteer basis, and when it's a volunteer basis, your volunteers aren't there forever.
Yeah, I can't say that I've seen the story of a specific historical society going away, but I think what you see is there are cycles and there are periods of great activity and interest, and then there's times where that can ebb away. I have not seen a historical society closed and have its collections dispersed. But I think there are a lot that are just kind of tend to sit there in a holding pattern, and they might not be active, and the material might be sitting there, continues to be at risk, but it hasn't actually been parceled out.
Some historical societies are thriving, such as the one in Bethel, where with approximately 800 affluent and generous members, the society has had the financial backing to construct 2 new buildings, hire a full-time staff, and become a full-fledged museum, changing its name to the Museums of the Bethel Historical Society. Others are barely able to keep going, such as the Oxford Historical Society, where membership has dwindled to a few dozen, few of whom are active and most over the age of 70. The Oxford Society recently recruited a new young president, Patricia Larrabee, and the hopes are that she will have the time and energy needed to turn things around.
We're reaching a point where those that are there now are retiring, either for health reasons or age. So I'm trying to bring it back to life. Oxford has a lot of history, and I think it's a shame that we can't get younger people to appreciate history and what their fathers, grandfathers left their legacy here for them. We have a lot of documents. Our curator has done a great job of labeling things that have been donated to us. Families that have moved away, they'll find hidden treasures and they'll donate them to the society.
Those collections are really the story of who those communities are. And those collections tell the story about how the communities were settled, why, who came to settle those places, what the opportunities were, how those communities were shaped by their particular geography or location in the state. So it's really their stories, and I think in terms of individuals' identity and sense of self, that starts with community. So those collections tell those stories unbelievably well.
But we do have organizations and businesses here in the town that we don't that don't want to see us fail. They really want to try to help us, but we have to get better at bringing in new members and getting the word out that we are here and that we do have a lot of history, and we have a museum here. And at our first meeting, it's my intent to discuss some ideas that we all have about how we can promote our society this year.
I'm not from Maine, and when I moved here, the first thing I did was go to the Mexico Historical Society Monday potluck to meet people from the community and learn more about the community that I now lived in. It was a decidedly older population, but I really felt like I fit right in.
In Mexico, Maine, Caroline Mitchell is another example of a younger person recruited by members to be their president to try to revive a struggling historical society.
I think it's because I came to every meeting. I was active in the historical society and I had ideas. I was younger and I guess just more gung-ho about making sure that the society prospered and continued, and possibly because of my age would be able to attract a younger membership. I'd have to say over the past few years there's been a resurgence in membership, but it is in danger in that we don't have the financial backing we need to upkeep our museum. Currently, we have a bill of $21,000 for a new roof to protect our museum, and our membership drives and fundraising aren't covering that need.
There are ways to shore up small-town historical societies and their collections of historic artifacts. One comes from the largest historical society in the state, the 196-year-old Maine Historical Society in Portland, which is backing up local societies with an internet-based program called the Maine Memory Network. We'll show you the Maine Memory Network in the next segment.
Excuse me,
sir, are you getting a little shaggy around the ears but can't find time for a haircut? Well, now you can. At Lisa's Barbershop at 178 Main Street in Mexico, owner Lisa Shardlow specializes in quick haircuts. No appointment is necessary and there's rarely a wait. At Lisa's, the motto is cut and go.
They say in springtime, a young man's fancy turns to love. Well, it might be better to turn your fancy to a good haircut first. A nice clean haircut tends to make the love stuff work out a lot better.
Lisa's, open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to noon.
Good haircuts. Chicks dig 'em.
Good Karma Cafe and Health Food is becoming the place to go for lunch in Rumford, and everyone has their favorite from the menu.
Hi, I'm Sandy Gordon, and I'm co-owner of Good Karma Cafe along with my husband Glenn. And my favorite luncheon on the menu is an Asian chicken salad. It has grilled chicken, spring mix, oranges, onions, peppers, and Asian noodles. And comes with a citrus dressing that is nice and sweet.
Good Karma Cafe and Health Foods, open Monday through Saturday. Spring is here, so let's get to work. At Puya Lumber, you'll find the tools and supplies you need to clean up and patch and fix and repair all of last winter's wear and tear. If the roof needs attention, check out Puya's full stock of IKO roofing. Why not enjoy the nicer weather with a deck with Puya's deck packages, hammer ready? And if you still have a few weeks of heating left but don't want a large order, you can always buy pellets by the bag at Puya's. Puya Lumber, 369 River Road, Route 2, Mexico, Maine, 364-9999. At the top of Falls Hill in Rumford, look for the newest repair place in town, E&B Auto and Bike Repair in the former Jake's Garage. With easy access off Route 2 on Prospect Avenue, E&B specializes in custom exhaust and engine rebuilds, in addition to all the other maintenance and repair and parts your car, truck, or motorcycle might need. Featuring Napa parts, E&B has batteries for everything from your car to your snowmobile. With friendly service and reasonable prices, E&B is offering an additional 10% off to any customer who mentions this ad. Remember, mention this ad. E&B Auto and Bike Repair, open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., but closed from noon to 1 for lunch.
Thinking about a new career? Get on the right road with tractor trailer and school bus driver training at the Region 9 truck driving program right here in Mexico, Maine.
Hi, my name is Ed Naples. I work here at Region 9 and I'd like to give you some thoughts about our truck driver training program.
Class A drivers are in demand, whether you're hauling chips or whether you're going over the road cross country. The jobs are there. If you're thinking about getting your Class B license, the local towns will be looking for drivers for the winter months and the ski areas for plowing. So if you're interested in doing that, give us a call. The opportunity is there for driving school buses in the area. A lot of people are retiring.
So if you like driving, if you drive a standard shift, pass a physical and drug test, this could be an opportunity for a career change for you. A lot of people take the course and a lot of people get jobs. We've been doing this program for almost 30 years and have a lot of good success stories. So I invite you to give me a call at 369-9058 and find out more information and sign up for the next class.
In the last segment, we described the valuable collections of historic artifacts held by local historical societies all over the state, and the fact that the societies sometimes struggle to keep going as volunteers age or drift away. The collections, valuable reminders of the state's past, can be endangered. But there are things that can be done to shore up the societies and protect their collections, and the biggest historical society in the state, the Maine Historical Society in Portland, has launched an internet program to help. The program is called Maine Memory Network, and the Dixfield Maine Historical Society is one of those taking advantage of it.
But it's kind of nice because once they take possession of it digitally, it's saved, and we don't have to, if anything should happen, those pictures are on their database, their big database, so that's kind of comforting.
Donna Toll is the president of the Dixfield Historical Society, which underwent a period of uncertainty similar to what has happened to many local historical societies. Like many, its founding was inspired by the 1976 bicentennial celebration, but the enthusiasm and the volunteers dwindled after a while.
It was founded in 1976 by the original directors, and there's Albert Spalding is the last founding director. It was founded at the same year as the country's bicentennial. And then it went kind of, like you said, it kind of declined in the late 80s. Into the 90s. I guess it should be the 90s. It declined, and they used to have it in the building next door here. It was a chapel owned by the Congregational Church. They went on hard times as well and needed to sell the chapel. So they had to store a lot of things, a lot of the accessions and a lot of the material. And they stored it in Lyman Holman's barn over on Mill Street. And it just kind of declined for a bit. And then in the late 90s, we were approached, a few of us younger than the original people, not young anymore, and asked to kind of get it resurgent, beefed up again, which we did. And we bought this house from the Sargents, from Pat and Verdell Sargent, and then we've just got it paid off just this month.
The Maine Memory Network is designed in part to be a buffer against the kind of fluctuations in members and resources the Dixfield Society has gone through. It is a website that contains a vast catalog of historic images and documents from all over the state and from many local historical societies. Maine Historical Society Executive Director Steve Bromage explains.
We launched Maine Memory Network in 2001, and it's been a pretty amazing journey. Like other historical organizations, when the web came around, we realized here's a great opportunity to share our collections. For much of our existence, unless you lived in southern Maine and we're going to walk into a research institution, we might not have been able to make our collections accessible to people. But when we launched Maine Memory, the really neat thing was we were able to do it in a way that didn't just let Maine Historical share our collections, but would let any historical organization or organization with collections around the state share their collections. Many of those local historical societies, they know what they've got, and they're very proud of their collections, but they have a hard time even within their community sharing the collections. People don't know what their hours are. They're often run by elderly volunteers. They're only open a couple hours a week during the warmer months. So I think one of the keys to your basic questions is to how do you connect other people in the community to see that as a resource? When we hear from a community that they're interested in, we'll come out, we'll talk to them, they'll share what they're interested in telling, and we give them the tools to pick and tell their stories. It would not have worked so well if we had just come out and said, hey, we want your material for our website, but we go out and we say, you know your history, you know your collections, we just want to help you share it because we're all enriched by that.
And we've also been scanning all of our old photos for the Maine Memory Network. They provided a computer and a scanner for us to input all the photos into.
When you go to the website, you pick your topic of interest, ships, trees, baseball, sewing, food, you name it. You type that in and you might find materials from dozens of different organizations. And all of a sudden you can start to see how these different collections and Maine stories fit together. There are a lot of resources within communities, and a big part is just putting them together. So one of the ways, I think, is through partnership with the local public library, which is a key place for the public, and with the local schools. Teachers are all over the state are looking for meaningful ways to engage their students in the community. So by just sitting down with the Historical Society and talking and coming up with projects to digitize collections, we've done great stuff where the students are taking the lead on digitizing. They're talking with the local Historical Society every week by Skype. And so everybody brings something to the table.
And I think the most important thing is people know that they can give stuff here now, and it's protected, and it's kept, and it's valued. We value anything that's from Dixfield.
The Jolly Drayman Pub and the Briarley Inn, a gracious inn in Bethel, Maine with an authentic British pub featuring classic pub fare.
This is Helena at the Jolly Drayman Briarley Inn. Stop by, come to see us. Looking forward to your visit.
After dinner, indulge yourself with a stay in one of the comfortable rooms upstairs in the Briarley Inn, featuring cuddly blankets, down feather pillows, soft linens, fluffy towels, and casual rustic decor. The Jolly Drayman, the authentic British pub in Bethel, Maine, located in the Briarley Inn.
There is a remarkable one-of-a-kind store these days in Bryant Pond, Maine, selling one-of-a-kind items. Goddess Robes is a showroom of exquisite, custom-tailored and designed robes made of silks, satins, washable silks, brocades, and cottons. Goddess Robes are designed for formal occasions or personal relaxation and make getting dressed for even the most elegant occasions a matter of only slipping an elegant robe over your shoulders. Created for the women who know who they are, what they want, and make no apology for either. Goddess Robes on Route 26 in Bryant Pond.
Hi, I'm Roger Whitehouse, owner and designated broker of Riverside Realty right here in Mexico, Maine. At Riverside Realty, we're not just selling houses, we're selling our experience and knowledge to help you through the pitfalls and opportunities of purchasing a new property. Stop by Riverside Realty and let us show you how a full-service real estate office can help you. Hope to see you soon.
This is MLS 1291864, a 1937-room cape with 3 bedrooms, 1 full bath, renovated in 2005, with a detached 3-car garage and a storage area, all on 2 acres. It's just minutes from Black Mountain of Maine and 28 miles from Sunday River Ski Resort. The property sits across the street from the Swift River, listed at $134,900. This is MLS 1287868, a 1949 cape on the Roxbury Road in Mexico, Maine, with 4 rooms, 2 bedrooms, 2 full baths. It has a large screen entertainment room wired with built-in sound. It's been totally renovated since 2008. It has a new detached 2-bay gambrel-style garage with 12-foot-high ceilings, radiant heated floor, and its own electrical sub-panel. The garage is 44 by 32, and it has a loft with 10-foot-high ceilings. Listed at $125,192. For new construction or renovations, or to tighten up that basement, there are few better investments than foam insulation. And in Western Maine, it's Dixfield Foam Insulation. Foam insulation is the best insulation on the market. It does not sag or settle like other insulation, and it maintains its R value for decades. That means that in the long run, the savings on heating and cooling costs will far exceed the cost of installing it in the first place. With foam insulation, there's no air leakage. It creates its own vapor barrier, and it's resistant to moisture. The rigidity of the product even serves to add to the structural integrity of the framing of the building. Foam insulation is ideal for new construction or renovations where the studs are going to be exposed, but it's also great for tightening up basements in any building. Have a difficult-to-seal rock wall foundation or a leaky, drafty basement? Seal it with foam insulation and keep air and water out. Dixfield Foam Insulation offers free, no-obligation estimates.
I'm Tim with Dixfield Foam Insulation. Give us a call, we'll give you a free estimate.
Call 207-418-9394 or 207-441-3630 for a no-obligation consultation, and check our Facebook page for more information.
Washing machines are offering more and more features each year. Well, you may not find anything quite like this yet at Larson's Electric Service in Mexico, but you'll find the latest in everything from washing machines to refrigerators to stoves. With the Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Maytag brands, Larson's offers free delivery and setup of your new appliance plus removal of your old appliance.
Now celebrating over 60 years in business, Larson's, 13 Main Street, Mexico, Maine. At Dan's Automotive, you'll find reliable used cars in the $3,000 to $8,000 range. You'll get more car for less money. Here's a great example of what you'll find at Dan's Automotive. Warning, this will probably be sold by the time you see this ad, but if you get lucky, you may still have a chance at this 2003 Nissan Xterra 4x4 with automatic transmission, a V6 engine, and 4-wheel drive. It's loaded with features. $59.95.
We bought our car at Dan's, and we're glad we did.
Dan's Automotive Repair and Sales, Crescent Avenue, Rumford. Mountain Valley Variety knows you have friends who are downright picky about their beer.
Hey, Bill, you want a beer?
Sure.
How about this?
Are you kidding?
we have the answer for your picky friends, the largest beer cave in the area.
Hi, I'm Rick from Mountain Valley Variety in Rumford. I want to welcome you to my brand new beer cave. Whatever you want, we either have or we can get.
All right, how about this?
Hey, now you're talking.
Mountain Valley Variety, we've got the picky friend thing covered.
Come on down to Mountain Valley Variety and see us all.
Well, that's it for the May 2018 edition of Today River Valley. This is Phil Blampy, the host and producer of the program. The weather we've been waiting for is finally here, so get your garden ready, buy your seeds, and we'll see you in June.